Hello, it's Brenda again. It must be Wednesday if we're meeting like this. For those of you that didn't watch the first few videos that I put up, my name's Brenda, and I put up a lot of failed videos before, so I decided I'd try again, and I would make videos about something I knew, and something I know really well is me. So I started in the early 50s, 1950s, on the videos, and I'm working my way up, and I'm at the end of the 50s now. But I live in Shallotte, North Carolina, and I walk around, and I'm going to show you a bunch of other towns too as time goes on. Here we are, coming on the 4th of July. Isn't this awesome? Even the flowers are red, white, and blue. They smell so good. Yum. So this is the park, Mulberry Park, where we have entertainment come in, and there's tons of places to sit, celebrate. Well, you can see we're celebrating the 4th of July, but it's a nice place to come and sit and hear music. And here's the theater. You see that? There we are. And you can see it's like an amphitheater, the seating. It's in semicircles all the way, whoops, around. And the flags are up all the way around the seating area. And of course, the crepe myrtles, they don't bloom. Crepe myrtles bloom whether you know or not. They bloom at end of summer, when summer's fried everything else to a crisp. That's when the crepe myrtles bloom. Yeah, there you can see now. Some people bring chairs, but usually it's cushions, and they just put a cushion down here. So there's lots of space. And there's a playground over there, and there's a place with picnic tables under the pavilion over there. And when my sweet puppy dog, let's see if you can see, I can't zoom in. But anyhow, when my sweet puppy dog was still alive, this was her favorite place to come. And as I'm walking here, I'll show you how big this stage is. And then there it is looking out from the stage. Lots of tiered amphitheater sitting. And here's why my puppy dog liked it so much. She just couldn't sniff enough. I mean, she was a black lab, but she just found so much to sniff out here. But when the scent was fresh on this thing I'm going to show you, she would back off. There you go. Can you see that? Danger, alligators, absolutely no swimming or wading. And then of course it says the alligators are protected, but not the people. But I would walk her around here, and then she'd go back and she'd want to walk again and again. So there was so much to smell. Oh, I miss her. I miss her. Well, I've said that. Those of you that have puppy dogs, you know what I'm talking about. And those of you that have never had a dog, you can't explain it. They open neurons in your mind that people can't. That's why people are so devoted to their puppy dogs. And probably kitty cats. I've never owned a kitty cat, but I have 3 strays that come up and sleep on my patio. And there we go. See the pretty landscaping here. And the playground. And then up here by the pavilion, you can rent, I'm not going to go up there. You can rent space, if you can see that, to put in your vegetable garden or flower garden. See, some people's got stuff growing in there. Grow some stuff on my patio. There's the stage again. I hope you're seeing all this, because once again, I have it turned towards me, and when I turn it towards something else, I don't know if I've got it this right or not. Okay, so this is Mulberry Park, Shallotte. This is right off of Main Street. They've done a lot of renovating here through the winter. All this has been here, but across the street over there, they've put in new restrooms and a lot of stuff. So, okay, I'm going to try and sing a song for you, and I'll tag it at the end of this video. And I will see you next Wednesday when I put up a new video. And I hope to either be down at the beach or in another town. There's so many towns. There were 3 that I just love around here. Shallotte, Southport, and Conway. Conway's in South Carolina. But there's lots of things to video. So, okay, let's jump off the beaten path here. And we'll get back into, let's see, we left off. I was in grammar school. It was around 1956, 7, 8. And we just learned that Antarctica was an ice wall. If you have been watching my videos, that's where we left off. So now we're going to jump into the 60s. 1961, Daddy moved us to Virginia. We moved into a village there whose claim to fame was George Washington's tailor lived there. Yes, the George Washington's very own tailor. And that little village, and our house was about a block and a half from his house. And I could walk to, I was going into junior high school then, 7th grade, and I could walk. It was 1 block to the junior high school, and it was 1 block to the brand new library that they had just built. So that was a pretty nice place to be a teenager. I wrote a song about living there. I'll dig it out, or maybe I'll play it for you sometime. But anyway, at 1961, I was starting to blossom. I discovered boys. As much as I could. My daddy was he and Mom both were country folk. And I was allowed to date at 16 years old on the front porch with the light on. If you don't think that drove boys away. No, but some of them stayed. And my dad said, the ones that stay are the good guys. The ones that don't stay are the bad guys. You don't want them anyway. So, about 3 blocks away, there was a fellow named Jack, who was 3 years older than me. And we started, I don't remember how, but we started walking around the neighborhood. And then he got a 1959 Chevy Impala, the one that has the almond-shaped eyes in the back and the seagull wings over the eyes. And he said, we got to be really good friends. I liked him a lot. And he said, how would you like to drive? I said, yeah, I'd love to. I don't have a license. Like, I think then I was like 15, 14, 15. He said, it doesn't matter. So there was a big hill that came off down, it's called Wilson Boulevard. And that car, when it got right to the bottom of that hill, because of those wings over the eyes, it would lift up like it was going to take off. I will remember him giving me lessons in that car. So, shout out to Jack, who taught me how to drive. It was a 3-speed, what do you call them now? Christmas trees, 3-speed on the column. And it was a convertible, and the color was called salmon. But it was a great car. I would love to have had it. I did get a 63 Impala later on. But anyway, Jack went into the Army. In those days, the guys got drafted. They didn't have any choice. And he got drafted. And he went to Germany. And I rode him for a while. And everything was going great. And then enter Bob. Me and my girlfriend, Sharon, it was Easter Sunday, April 18th, 1965, and we were walking down around that junior high school, just out walking on Easter Sunday. And this 55 Chevy with mag wheels, and it was so cool, pulled up alongside of us and said, "What you girls doing?" I said, "Nothing." And of course, Sharon started up a conversation with him. That's how she was. Very outgoing. The driver was JD, and the passenger was Bob, the fellow I ended up marrying. He was a wild child. And after we got married, he was still a wild child. He loved to be with his friends. But he eventually, when we started having our children and all, he was a great dad. And then later on, he was a great granddad. But he wasn't happy being a husband. He wanted to run. But anyway, he wouldn't go away. And I told him I had a boyfriend that was stationed in Germany. And he said, "Well, you know that old poem, don't worry about your girl at home. Jody's got your girl and gone." I said, "And you're Jody? You're Jody?" He was just a jerk. But yeah, he was okay. He was a good, hard-working man, but he didn't, when he saw something he wanted, like he saw a house that he wanted, and he ended up getting that house in the country on 5 acres. That's what he wanted, and that's what he got. Anyway, Jack came home and letters went backwards and forwards. I told him what was going on, and he was very upset, but he did meet my sister-in-law's roommate, and he ended up marrying her, so it all worked out. Then, let's see, that was 1961, and then we had a house. We moved to Alexandria, Virginia, and our house was not too far from, have you ever heard of Von Braun, I think he was one of the co-founders of NASA. Can't think of his first name, but his house was just down the road in Alexandria when we moved there. And let's see, that would have been later on. That would have been the 70s. Never mind, I'm not up to the 70s yet. So it would have been early 1960s, the 59, 60, and I remember sitting in school, and it was announced that Russia had launched Sputnik, a satellite, and I was like, satellite? What's that? And I guess, as far as I know, that started the race for space. So I guess that's enough for right now. That takes us up to Sputnik being launched. And what else was happening that year? Oh, next time when I get next week, we'll get to 1962-63 when President Kennedy was assassinated. I'll tell you where I was at, what I was doing, and how it just seemed like the whole world went into mourning for him. He was so loved, and his wife. And I'll get into that next time. Okay, y'all have a great week. Bye. Howdy, it's Brenda again. Since I'm here and you're here, it must be Wednesday. I'm still in Shallotte and I'm at San Jose's. It's a Mexican restaurant right on Main Street here. So you might want to come on down to San Jose's, right on Main Street. I will just be here for a minute though. I want to record the song that I wrote about 40 years ago. But I promised you that I would sing a song for you I wrote, and that's what I'm going to do. It's called The Waiting Game. Hope you can hear it. Every night I play the waiting game. Each lonely night goes by, it's still the same. But no, tonight when you walk out that door, I won't play your waiting game no more. If you want to share a life with me, you'll have